Hey guys, welcome to group chat. We got a hell of an episode. You got all three of us. I'm not in the studio. I apologize. But we are all three here and we have a great mix of some chatting mixed with some news. We got a good blend here. How do you guys feel?
Great blend. Great.
I mean, we got a little, I feel like Anand was a little like mad at us this episode. He wasn't too interested in our topic. He actually told us, I think, 3 different times we need to move to Florida.
Yeah.
I think he's just fed up leading into as we get into the election. You know, things are going to get really divisive and
heated.
And, but you know, we're going to get through it and we're going to talk it out. Anand, do you have anything to say?
Move to Florida.
That was 4 times. Okay. Let's get into it. Yeah.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Okay. Here we are. It's Sunday night. I would like to apologize to the audience. I'm not in studio. I've been doing good lately. Had I known we were going to start a little late, I would have just came straight there. That's my fault. Look, it's my fault. I take the blame. I hit some unexpected traffic. There's a massive pride parade going on right outside my window. So I'm sorry, but we're here.
I got stuck in it, so I can vouch. We were coming from a birthday party, and we had to go.
I had plenty of time.
We had to go really south to go around it. So
yeah, I thought it would be over by now. I saw it this morning. I thought it'd be over. I got caught directly in it.
All good.
So on that note, there's a story that's not on our list that I thought I would just float by you guys and see if you were interested, because it's a really big thing, you know, in the world of Call of Duty, in the world of gaming. And, you know, I still got my ear to the streets a little bit in the gaming world. And I'm sure there's a lot of our audience that games or whatever, but big story. So Call of Duty is a massive game. I mean, I don't know the data, but I would argue probably the most popular game with, you know, young people. And, you know, there's all these streamers that play the game on Twitch and stuff like that. And 2 of the biggest streamers that play Call of Duty are Tim the Tap Man and Nick Merckx. I know you guys are familiar with both. Mm-hmm. Call of Duty decided to do a custom like skin, like a character of Tim the Tap Man and one of Nick Merckx. You can play as them. They're all decorated out. They look like warriors. Yay, great. So that launched last week. Then on Twitter, somebody posted a video of some of those, like, did you see the videos of like all the parents fighting outside of the school because some people were protesting that like pride, like they should be able to teach their kids about pride. Some people were anti-pride, and it literally led to like a brawl outside the school.
Yeah, I saw that.
So Nick Merckx responded to that tweet of one of those videos and said something very close to, they need to leave those kids alone. That's the real issue here.
That's it.
Not crazy. But taking a stance, you know, his stance is stop trying to teach this stuff to kids. He took a side, but not too crazy. Call of Duty came out right after and said, we are removing Nick Merckx's skin from our store. You'll no longer be able to play as Nick Merckx. Tim the Tap Man apparently said, you know what? Nick is such a good friend of mine that it doesn't feel right that I have mine and he doesn't have his. And I don't agree with that decision. So take mine off too. And I would imagine there's probably a pretty big revenue stream. I mean, my best guess, I have no idea on this, but, you know, kids pay to buy those skins. So I'm guessing they probably make a royalty, and it's probably a pretty good revenue stream. I'm guessing it's a pretty big deal all as a package. And that's what's going on. So now, you know, all the kids are saying, oh, Call of Duty's the next Bud Light, blah, blah, blah. We're boycotting, you know. So anyway, huge news going on in the world of gaming.
What's interesting is correct me if I'm wrong, Call of Duty is a game where you just shoot and kill people, right?
Not only that, you shoot and bloody murder people, but when it comes to where the most vile things are being said between people, it is in Call of Duty, like in the chat, when you kill someone. Like I've played it a little bit, and I have never heard so many racial and, gay hatred slang in people talking to each other.
That's my point.
If you're really worried about like curbing that sort of speech, if you put out a survey of how many times was a gay slang or a racial slang said per day on Call of Duty into the microphone, it's probably 1 million a day.
Okay. So I would say we have AI now. Talk about a large foul language model that is Call of Duty's chat. If you went and got one of these AI companies to say how many times, and we all know what the words are, pick the top 10. Yep. I know for a fact it's in the millions a day. And why do companies continue to try to be the arbiter of morality on every fucking topic?
Well, I actually have a different take. I think it's sad that we even have to talk about this because why is it going viral? Now because of Bud Light, everyone wants to go viral because of this one issue. Like, who cares? If you want to be gay, be gay. If you want to be trans, be trans.
But
why do we need to talk about it?
That has nothing to do with this.
100% it does.
No, it has everything to do with the fact that Nick Merckx made a comment that Call of Duty people, of all the things that they are deciding to monitor, of all the violence they've spewed into society, they thought his comment was out of pocket.
And if we want to talk about the NFL, which is the best marketed product in the world, they've been fully into Pride Month. They've launched so many content on their social about Pride, and they get no backlash.
It's different.
What's different? They literally had a guy die on the field. Like,
it's a product that is clearly cannot be touched. That's the difference. It's Bud Light was clearly a product.
But I'm going to be honest with you. I think, look, just so that, whatever, I don't get in trouble. I'm not taking a side here, but I am saying that these boycotts are a little more sophisticated. They're not anti-gay. They're like, a person talking to kids about being trans, or blah, 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 or Target marketing to kids.
I think it's also like, I think we're doing a disservice by continuing to talk about it because I think it's irrelevant.
It is relevant though.
I think it's relevant because people are currently being banned and like this is I would call this a business story in the sense that here you have a business relationship that was canceled because of what someone said. And I don't know. I think that that's relevant.
Of course it's relevant. It's the Bud Light thing is relevant. All of it's relevant. It's affecting the way billion-dollar companies are run because if they do or do not do something.
I think absent of Bud Light, it's on the margins. Bud Light
so here's a through line. The through line is not gay pride. It's not at all. The through line is not if you're gay or not. The through line is people are starting to draw a line about talking to kids, what subjects you talk to kids about, or they're calling it grooming or whatever. And where is it the parent's job? Where is it the school's job? Where is it the whatever's job? That is really the thing. If you go Bud Light, Target, Nick Merckx, it's all about this thing. And people are talking about banning books in Florida. And people are talking about like, there's this real hot topic, which is our job to talk about what's going on in the world. There's a hot topic in the country about kids and when and how you talk to kids about issues like trans and gay sex and things like that. Because that's what they're talking about.
That is the hot topic because like it affects obviously so many people and so many people have so many different views around it. And so people are now voicing their opinion one way or the other. Like there are plenty of parents who are like exposing their kids to that and that's what they feel they're comfortable with. And there's parents who don't feel that they're comfortable with it. The problem is that is all fine. It's just that now they're vocalizing a business. If they do not feel like they should be pushing on that message to children, then they're like, okay, that's enough. We're done with you. That's certain people's views. It's not our job to give people's views, but that's what's happening. And it's big. It is big. It's meaningful. It's costing companies billions of dollars.
I don't know how meaningful it was. I think Bud Light was it wasn't a canary in the coal mine. I think it was just this random just everything came together, and I don't think it affects other companies like that because the NFL, after seeing all of this, showed up 10 days
But it's
ago
nothing with children, though. He's talking very specific.
No,
Yeah,
but Bud
it's a
Light had nothing to do with
specific
children. Bud Light had nothing to do with children.
No, but that was
Bud Light
theirs
did.
wasn't.
It had nothing to do with children.
Yes, it
No.
did. The argument,
Because
the
of
core
course not.
The followers of Dylan were
it did.
young.
You're missing the core complaint. The core complaint,
Yeah.
like I said, this is a little bit more sophisticated than just we don't like gays. It's not that. It's why are you using an influencer that talks to kids about being trans on my product that I like? I don't support this person. I don't support that. And I don't support this decision from you. But the through line is that person talks to kids about trans issues. It's all
And I'll argue if you see every company and their actions on a go forward basis, they're not afraid of.
But they're not talking to kids. You
they're
keep
going to
missing
be
the
afraid
point.
of talking to kids.
Yeah,
They are
I
for
agree.
sure. That's the difference. They're not. No one's afraid of Pride Month. They shouldn't be.
But
No one's
why
afraid
would
of.
Bud Light be? I mean, they're not. You have to be 21 to drink a beer.
That was the whole point.
That's the
whole
point. The point is, why are you
Yes.
using this person?
This person? There's
isn't-
so many other more prominent gay figures you could have used that target adults. They chose to choose that person.
I don't know. We can move on. I'm not going to keep talking about this with you guys.
Yeah,
But we
think,
could talk
look,
about it. You could sit at it.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you want to talk about it?
Well,
I just
no,
think that it's interesting that this is what I think is interesting. And like I said, I,
I
want
think
to
the
choose.
fact that you guys harp on this so much
It's
is
the biggest
a
story in the
disserv-
country at the moment.
No chance. It's not even trending on Twitter. I just looked. Biggest
But
story?
Anand,
How can you say
everywhere
that?
you go,
Anand.
people are talking about Bud Light
if
and
you-
fucking parents fighting and banning books in Florida.
Trending. Tony Awards. Summer House MV. Trevino. 900 Day
Twitter
Fiance.
trending
Nick
topics
Taylor,
at any
Volpe.
given moment is not the judge of what's trending. The topic
Yeah, you
of
think
people
Twitter's
talking to
real life?
kids.
You guys think everything's real life on social media, and then now you're saying it's not?
I
No,
haven't
we
even
actually-
been on social media in 5 days. I'm letting you know that the stuff that people are talking about, one of the key topics that we're going to see in the election, that we're going to see in
Yes.
big business, is talking to kids about gay and trans issues and at what age that is okay. That's one of the
Yes.
biggest issues in
It
the
is.
country at the moment.
Yes, I agree.
And my point is, D, like you said, I think companies I think that what Nick Merck said sounds mostly like his opinion. And I just think that if a company is going to try to be the arbiter of morals, I think that they have to look at their own. Like
Yeah.
if you tuned in to the Call of Duty fucking chat for 2 seconds, you would be
You'd know.
dumbfounded at what
It is
like
the most
14-year-olds are saying
offensive-
to each other.
It's the most offensive place on earth.
Yeah.
For any human being, it's offensive.
Yeah.
That's why I struggle with specifically this one, because it's like completely off ground for them
And
to
it's
be
just kids
commenting
like
on anything.
shooting each other in the face and being like, fuck you, bitch. Like it is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's
So anyway.
right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's
It's just
a wild,
crazy. It's crazy too that like this all led right into Pride. And I think to Anand's point, like we are actually seeing a differentiation between this isn't an anti-gay thing. It's
at
not
all.
what it's seeming like. It's not like anyone who has a rainbow on their thing or anyone who like, I don't see that. I think that there's this issue. It's a really big issue in Florida because DeSantis is going hard on, books that are allowed to be in the school libraries and not. And that's being called a banning books topic. And I don't know. I don't know how it shakes out. Does it shake out that each individual school makes up their mind and you decide where to send your kid? Or
yeah, I think that's what happened. I mean, look, that's the beauty of this country. Everyone can do whatever the fuck they want.
yeah,
And every school will do whatever they want. Every city can do whatever they want. Every state
Yeah.
can do whatever they want. It's pretty awesome. Like if you want your children to learn this stuff, there is a place where you can learn it. If you don't want your children to learn this stuff, there's
Yeah.
a place where you don't have
like I
to
feel
learn
like the school's
it.
going to have to like release their curriculum and their
Yeah.
books
Or you can
and
move
their-
states. You can move states.
You don't
want-
even need to move states. You
Of
can
course
just
you
move
can.
schools. Like I'm sure that you can go to a more traditional school versus a progressive school. Which
You might have to go to Florida in the next 3 years.
Yeah, maybe you might have to.
I don't have to go to Florida.
Anand? What's going on?
Because he's taking a very defensive position on it.
It's not a defensive position. I
It's
just know the
100%
undertones
But to
of
call
what you
this a
guys are saying.
non-issue is a little
I
absurd.
mean, you said it was the biggest story in the country, and I look on everything on social media. I don't even see Call of Duty anywhere. There's 657 tweets on Call of Duty.
No,
Anand. If I search Zion
Anand,
Williamson,
listen.
there's 10,000.
Anand, I'm not saying Call of Duty is the biggest story in the country. I'm saying the topic of teaching kids these things is one of the biggest stories. When you combine Bud Light, politics, everyone that is talking about this issue, it's one of the biggest issues. And a new event that just happened in this saga is this Call of Duty thing. That is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree to disagree.
That's fine.
You can disagree. That's the beauty of America.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
That's amazing. It's amazing. You can literally do whatever you want. It's very few places on earth where you could do whatever you want. And this is
okay,
one of them.
Anand, is there any big stories that you have since mine is not a story?
I had good content that I consumed over the weekend. I could save it for Wednesday. We can talk about it now. We get it in news. You guys decide.
Do we have anything else to chat about before we start?
U.S. Open this week.
What's U.S. Open?
Oh, one of the majors. Golf.
Yep.
I'm going Friday.
What are you going to wear?
There's no dress code. Phones are allowed. You can wear whatever you want at LA Country Club.
Yeah, obviously it's a new world now. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, it all changed. Literally, that they threw out the paperwork a week ago. Yeah. They had the dress code on it.
Yasir was like, I'm going to be on my phone. I'm going to wear what the fuck I want. And I don't really give a shit what you guys think.
I know it's not one of our news stories, but the New York Times broke down how this all came about. And
which thing?
PGA Live.
Okay.
And Moynihan, this guy's special character.
He's like flying all over the world.
This guy was in Venice. Venice, Italy, not Venice, Southern California.
Nothing's happening there.
No.
Meeting with Yasir. And there was this like billionaire wedding that was happening in Venice. And the head of Formula One was in town.
What month is this?
Last 2 months.
Okay.
Lawrence Stroll's kid. He's the billionaire's kid.
I know who Lawrence Stroll is, yeah.
Lawrence Stroll's kid was the kid getting married. Groom. So all the people, all the billionaires, athletes, celebrities, everyone was in Venice. Deal. And there was whoever the head Formula One chief is, because I think he's the chairman, Moynihan saw him at like whatever restaurant, and he had to like duck because he didn't want him seeing Moynihan meeting with Yasir because the cat would be out of the bag. So this guy is a total sleazebag.
The weasel.
He's like ducking from.
He's a weasel. Yeah, I mean, he's piece of shit of the year, I think.
Yeah.
He's ducking from like the Formula One. He doesn't want the Formula One people to see that he's meeting with Yasir. Yasir was invited to the wedding, and they'd be like, what are you meeting with Yasir for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a weasel. What I wonder is, I heard a podcast or something that he makes like $15 million a year or something. So
$15 million a year. And this guy was in Venice, London, Ohio, New York, all on a private jet.
So are we going to find out what his new salary is? That's my question. What's his CEO salary of the combined
50.
venture?
I bet you he's making 50.
Yeah.
Because golf is about to print fucking money. Print.
Yeah,
and by the way, DJ Khaled is hosting his own invitational sponsored by Jordan Brand in Miami,
July 20th,
in Miami Beach Golf Club,
as he should.
And I think golf is golf feels like, you know, when like NBA was kind of dwindling. I don't say golf was dwindling. I think golf recreational is obviously very big. Golf professionally is, no one gives a shit. Like globally, it's still a nonsense sport.
Yeah, the PGA was afraid of going bankrupt because no one cared about their sport.
Yeah, there was this Tiger Woods moment, which was huge, that carried it for the last kind of 20, 25 years. And it was dwindling. Like, I'm sure ratings are horrible. Like, no one, these stars are not big enough, whatever. I think the equivalent of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird in the 80s, what they did to the NBA. NBA was toilet. until Magic and Larry came. It was about to fail. It was struggling. Teams were not making money. No one cared. Magic and Larry came and basically saved the NBA. And then luckily Jordan came. And you had a great commissioner and with David Stern, and the sport took off to global levels. To me, there's so much recreational interest in golf, but the actual association sucks. Like PGA sucks. It's not entertaining. It's not welcoming. It's not fun. It's just the worst. It's like the dumbest thing ever. This guy's going to come in. Yasir's going to come in. Monahan may or may not last. My guess is he's either got to dance and play the game of entertainment. Like you better have like Fisher and Drake at US Open this weekend. Like that is what you need to have to make golf cool and get like young people excited about. It's not just about playing golf. It's about paying attention to the PGA, right? Like imagine if like your favorite golfer is wearing your favorite brand, like not golf clothes, like what they actually want to wear. Like you see your favorite golfer wearing,
Fear of God polo.
You're wearing Fear of God, and you're winning the U.S. Open, and you're wearing. I saw Travis Scott golf shoes came out last week. That's what's going to have to happen in order for golf to become like truly like a sport where young people actually care about it. Because if young people don't care about your sport, you're irrelevant.
Yeah, so I think golf has to get that moment that they had when Tiger came on.
Tiger was the moment.
Tiger was the moment where we didn't care anything about golf, but we tuned in when he played because he just was such a like cultural icon, and they haven't had anyone since.
But I want to tell you what. Well, go. Sorry, finish your thought. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like you have everyone just kind of like,
because of the rules.
Yeah,
I bet
rules.
you if they said, "Yo, you could wear whatever you want. You could wear a Jordan
DJ
jersey."
Khaled has done more for golf in the last 2 months than any PGA professional.
Yeah, I mean,
yes,
definitely
and let me tell
a
you,
new audience.
I just want to point out one other thing. There's one other thing that has happened in the last year that you guys have talked about golf a lot that isn't a person. It's waste management.
Yeah.
Right. So my point is, I agree with both things. You need a Tiger, and you'll get a Tiger, eventually.
You might not, though. That was so unique.
I think you. I think that you will. I think that it'll be different. It won't be like a crystal clean, pristine, like champion that just does nothing but win. Maybe it's a guy with just, a lot of style that comes out of, some inner city neighborhood. Everyone's like, oh my God, that guy's fucking sick. Who would have thought? Like maybe it's just an unorthodox person or like whatever.
So
but my point is,
here's so sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think sports go forward are not going to see the same sustained dominance that we've seen. So like Novak Djokovic today just broke Nadal's all-time Grand Slam level, 23 Grand Slams. Nadal has 22. I think Federer has 21 or whatever. So these three guys have won every tournament the last 20 years. Tiger went through a 15, 20-year span where he was the only guy winning. Mm-hmm. And I don't think in basketball go forward. I don't think in the NFL you're going to see another Brady that wins 6. It's just, I don't think the current player.
Why would that be though?
I don't think they have the dedication and they give up.
No, I would say differently. I would say, I think the competition is so fucking good that it's almost impossible to rise above the crop because if you look at if you just take any sport, whatever it is, the amount of exceptional players there are, you look at Michael Jordan era, there was not 50 amazing players. In the NBA, there's 50 amazing players right now.
I just want to say I have a totally different take from both of you, which is that I think that we absolutely will. And I think that there's just there's a bias that happens when you're a part of it. The same way that I think people that were diehard fans of Michael thought that a LeBron would never come and still haven't accepted that he did come. I think it's just hard when you look at these guys now. You see Tom Brady, you're like, there'll never be another one of those. I think there will. I think that it happens in all sports.
I agree. I think it's tough to have the same concentration of talent in any sport. for example, Jokic is likely going to win that NBA title
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is he going to win 5? Probably not.
Why not? He's 28 years old. He can win 5.
I think it's just when you get to our age and you have your stars that you watched happen and now they're larger than life, it's hard to imagine another
Someone
one would
being
come.
better.
And even when they do come, I think it's hard to accept that they're even as good as the old ones. And the new generation says, no, they're my guy. They're better than your guy.
To Drama's point, if you look at like businesses, we always used to think like if you were growing up and you heard certain businesses, IBM, Procter & Gamble, Disney, these were the giants of industry. And you talk to some old person, they'll still talk about it. Now we talk about Apple's worth like $3 trillion. Microsoft's worth $2. And
like Warren Buffett just got in, because he just didn't accept it for so long. And now it's like, I guess I have to, because he's the old generation.
Objectively thinking, OpenAI could be the biggest company in the world in 5 years. I don't know. It could be. It could be worth $10 trillion, $5 trillion, or something we've actually never heard of could be the biggest thing in the world.
But so from a sports perspective, because we thought Giannis was going to be the guy that wins 6 titles.
He could. They're all children. They're babies still.
Yeah, we'll see.
There has to be another. This is what I think too, is that sports I know that we think all kids are lazy. All kids aren't lazy.
It's not lazy. It could be Dee's point where everyone just got really good.
Yeah.
And the playing field has been leveled.
What I was going to say is that the money and the stardom has never been bigger. And so there's never been a better incentive to be the next LeBron. Like when it comes to being a 14-year-old and you're thinking about your career path, there has never been.
I actually think the incentives are misaligned. So Luka Doncic, who's top 5 player in the NBA, he's supposed to be one of the great players in NBA history. If you look fast forward 15 years, they asked him in a press conference, do you want to play 20 years like LeBron? He said, no, no chance.
Yeah. That's right now, of course. He's looking at
because he's making
life.
$40 million a year and the incentives aren't the same.
Yeah,
if
but
you
I think
make
that when you
$40
see
million a year,
that's just his personality. There's a kid that's going to win $1 billion and he's going to see that it's possible and he's going to work his fucking ass off. I just think that this probably, if you interviewed a Jordan fan at the peak of Jordan, I bet you they would have said the same thing. There will never be another Michael Jordan. And even though there's not the exact same thing, LeBron, is his own version. And that's just my guess. We're all just guessing, but I think it's happened forever in the entire history of sports. There's always been moments where people dominate, and I just don't see why it wouldn't continue.
The only difference is the money is so big so soon, it's tough to stay motivated. Because Michael Jordan was not making $50 million a year at 22, at 23. And now if you're John Morant, who might be out of the league, has a $200 million contract.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do believe people come around in life, whether it be in business or sports, that don't care about money.
And
I actually think the opposite. I think people adjust, and I think what was 200 million.
By the way, 200 million doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, what do you get with 200 million? You can't get a plane.
Yeah, come on. You obviously got to ride around with your own gun. You can't even afford security with 200 million. Apparently.
That's how bad it is.
You got to protect yourself.
These guys money. You just see John Morant should actually petition for more money.
The two great American hopes for the NBA were John Morant and Zion Williamson.
Yeah,
Zion Williamson. If you've searched social media, the kid's having trouble.
Why? He just likes to fuck.
I am not familiar with that story. What happened? He has like 3 different girls or something. He has a porn star. Something's happening.
Yeah, he got some porn star pregnant. He has got a girlfriend.
And he's overweight. That's the biggest problem. He doesn't stay in shape.
Okay, so obesity.
Yeah.
That's classic NBA,
So he's just
stories are old as time.
Fucking strippers and porn stars.
By the way,
because he's got $250 million. That's my point.
20 years ago, that would be a hero.
This guy would have, he has the talent.
20 years ago, I'd just be a point guard.
No, Zion that's actually kind of the perfect point. Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
He had the talent. He has the talent currently to be one of the greats. And he got $250 million in the first 4 years of his adult life. And now he's caught up with porn stars. He can't stay in
But by
shape.
the way, but 30 years ago, 20 years ago, there were athletes all the time. They got so much money, got caught up with the lifestyle, and they weren't making that.
But they came from like different backgrounds. He came from a suburban like life.
You give a suburban kid $200 million and porn stars, I'm going to say 9 out of 10 or Zion Williamson. I'm sorry.
But hey, you still can't stay in shape. I don't even care about the porn stars. Stay in shape.
No.
Why isn't he staying in shape?
Have you seen
Because the porn
America?
stars don't care. They like him. They like him a little thick.
Yeah, a little teddy bear.
Yeah. Okay, let me just wrap it up with my point. I want to go all the way back to the beginning, which is, I've said this a million times. I'm going to keep saying it. What I was getting at with saying waste management is, yes, you need stars. I think you'll get stars. You'll get a different version of a Tiger Woods. But what you really need is the rules to fucking relax. There is no other. You don't go to a basketball gym at LA Fitness and you have to wear an exact uniform and a blah, blah, blah. If you choose to wear a basketball jersey because you want to play the part, that's fine. If you want to wear a t-shirt, if you want to wear a hoodie, you can. It's more fun. It's more lax. It's more like, I know what's going on at these golf courses. I'm at all of them. I run into more and more of like the cool crowd, like the streetwear crowd and that shit every time I go, but everyone's trying to play a part. Like it's like they're at, once again, like a board meeting or like you're running into people at church. But what they're actually doing is chugging alcohol and playing music out of their cart, just trying to act like they fit in. So once we relax a little.
Yeah, I agree. If you think about tennis's prime tennis was Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras. That was the prime
in America.
Globally, there's nothing bigger. I'm sure Federer and Djokovic made more money and they're popular in Serbia or wherever they're from. But like in
Federer from Switzerland,
whatever.
Djokovic
Nobody watches that shit in America. Tennis is dead.
Tennis is dead in America.
Dead in America. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Dead. When Andre Agassi came on the scene with Pete Sampras and he was wearing the shoes and the pink shirts and the ponytail. They hated him. He was a hated figure in tennis.
Well, it's same with Venus and Serena.
Yes, of course. They hated them too. But look, it was the biggest American tennis had ever been.
Yeah.
And I agree. And even tennis, if I'm tennis, I'm looking at Yasir and I'd be like, please, help us.
Yeah. I'm going to DJ Khaled and I'm saying, yo, please, you want a racket?
Tennis,
let me ask you a question.
Tennis is at the brink of extinction.
It should shut down.
Because it's too fucking serious. Tennis. It's too uptight and serious and stupid.
And let me ask you a question. 3 guys that matter are about to sail off to the sunset.
Yeah.
I mean, Djokovic probably has another 4. He'll win every tournament for the next 4 years and then it's over.
And the problem is, I'm sorry, like if you don't have like some, you take global soccer, we talk about it all the time. 17 billion people watch it, and then like the Commanders sell for $7 billion. Unfortunately, if money means everything, American interest actually matters at the end of the day.
And this is actually what golf and tennis could benefit from, because I think combat sports does a great job of this. Is you need personality, you need to sell the fight.
Yes.
Right?
Well, let me ask you a question. Why is it that people that play tennis and golf, and I played tennis and golf fucking all the time in high school, why do you have to have silence? NBA players are playing with massive noise. Baseball, football. These
Think about when they're shooting a free throw.
Noise?
Yeah.
You're allowed to fucking do this with big yellow sticks and whatever you want.
Like pictures of like they have signs and everything.
Yeah, they're the worst things said on signs about your family.
But you have to sell like the thing with tennis and golf, obviously, they don't sell it. The players don't sell it. There's no flair. They don't
because
talk
they're not
shit.
like allowed.
To.
Like it's too uptight. Like you're supposed to be a classy gentleman. You're supposed to. It's a gentleman's league. It's a like if you. I feel like they're probably scared that if you go show that you're having a little bit of fun and it's a cool lifestyle, they'll probably kick you off the tour. Like I'm sure that they're scared of that. It's a really weird environment. Yeah. I'm telling you, you feel it when you go to country clubs as just a regular person. I'm sure they feel it on a whole nother level. There's this like buttoned up, don't show any, whatever. And people don't like that. We don't like that in America. We like story. We like struggle. We like porn stars.
But it's also just fake, right? Like,
no, but
Djokovic goes, he wins the French Open. He's playing this guy, Casper Ruud. And
No one's heard of that guy.
He just makes him feel like he's a hero.
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And it's just like the pleasantries that you have to say.
Yeah.
Djokovic doesn't believe it. Djokovic is just in his mind.
Man,
He's
I
like,
whooped this guy's ass.
Yeah,
And
guess
he
how many
says to
times
say
I
it in
saw
French.
that clip? 0.
Yeah, 0.
With
Nobody
Rudd.
knows Djokovic won. You know what the ratings for the finals of French Open were in America? Fucking 0.
yeah. And the only reason that Djokovic has any clips is because he gave this like inspirational quote to his kids at the end,
Yeah.
which is like a feel good story,
Yeah.
but had nothing to do with about selling the sport.
I was not
Like, do
going to
you
wake up
realize
to
that-
watch.
Do you realize that Tiger just fist pumping, like that iconic video,
Yeah.
is like, whoa. Like he broke the mold in golf for showing emotion.
Motion, yeah.
That's ridiculous. That guy should be spraying champagne and fucking the crowd should come in and all of his friends and it should be like, yeah, fuck yeah. That's what it should feel like. Not that you have to like, you literally have to sink a putt to win a life-changing tournament. You're expected to like take your hat off, shake the other fella's hands and then go over, you know, to the dinner with the...
And to that point,
With the clan.
this is why where I have fairly zero interest in combat sports, but I get sold on fights because of marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I will watch every Conor McGregor fight because he's entertaining.
Yeah, by the way, like the boxing, I don't know anything about boxing, but if I miss when they walk up, I'm like devastated.
Like
that's the only thing I want to see.
The Danny Garcia tank fight, and I know nothing about either of them, but the marketing was so good. And it was just them talking shit to each other, telling each of them like why they suck.
Yeah.
I was interested in that.
Yeah.
And like Tank, you know, Tank's in jail currently. He's currently behind bars.
That's hot.
He had like a hit and run. He had all this stuff. Like, you know, he's like battling his past and has all this promise. And is he going to show up? And then they're shoving each other at the press release. And like, come on, man. I want to see, you know, Hideki
Imagine if Tiger
Matsuyama
just
shove
death Rory. People watch that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There are like the showman, like a true business opportunity is whatever you do, if you don't make it entertaining, people will tune it out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, your job in sports and politics and business is if you're not entertaining, you're tuned out. Yes. And so when you think about the old Steve Jobs introduction of Apple products, that was the biggest show on earth because the way and there's one more, how he always used to say,
one more thing.
And there's one more thing.
And
there's always one more thing. And he would drop the
blockbuster.
fucking blockbuster thing.
And this is what's crazy right now is golf is getting popular despite being a fucking wet paper bag as far as showmanship. And so if they can pivot and grab onto some of that and embrace it, they'll be the biggest thing ever. But if they try to like alienate, you know, I let's be honest, DJ Khaled, if he's not DJ Khaled and he walks up to blah, blah, blah country club with his shirt untucked and his, you know, like they're not, I mean, come on. You know how he's getting
past
treated?
Security to park his car.
Yeah. They gotta embrace it. They have a unique window where for some reason it's really popular, even though it's been like that, and they gotta embrace it. But I think Yasir has it under control.
Okay.
All right, news?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Things are looking up. So there's going to be a lot of golfing on the horizon, actually, because, you know, like I feel like things have been crazy when you talk about like the economy and the stock market for a while now, right? Like at least, let's say the last year. I mean, it's since before COVID, it's been absurd. And obviously it skyrocketed during COVID. But what I'm talking about is like for the last year, we've heard a lot of like, oh, the recession is coming. Oh, we're in a recession, but we're not, but we're going to act like we're not. Oh, things are about to get really bleak. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Now what's happening is people seem to be starting to have a little bit of a rosier outlook on the economy and on where things are going. Goldman Sachs just upped their price target for the S&P 500 to 4,500. It's at 43 now, I think, which is, you know, higher than it's been in a little bit. But it feels to me like a little bit of the doom and gloom talk is subsiding a little.
I don't think Goldman Sachs is capitulating to the fact that the economy is going to get better. It's just the fact that the stock market is just resilient.
There's two different things.
Yeah.
There's liquidity in the market, and then there's the real economy. And we've never been taught this lesson more than
COVID.
April of 2020 and May of 2020 and June of 2020.
When we were shut down.
When we were shut down, the economy was a mess.
Zero. It was not mess. It was zero.
Yeah,
you couldn't do anything. You couldn't buy anything. You couldn't.
Globally.
It was
the
zero.
entire world was a zero, but there was so much liquidity in the market that the markets went up.
Yeah.
So I think they're just banking on the fact that.
And by the way, from everything I've read, because of what the Feds move are, there's actually not even liquidity in the market. It's just
but there's so many funds with just so there's different liquidity, Fed liquidity, which is like backstopping shit, which is what they did in 2020. But there's just so much cash that's been raised by institutional firms, endowments, hedge funds, venture capital firms. There's so much cash. They have to deploy it. So they're going to invest it in the public markets.
That's the only place you can.
That's the only place you can safely.
Yeah.
Because you could get out.
It's very liquid. And if you look at
look at Carvana. This is a great company.
That's a hedge fund. That's like insider trading hedge fund bullshit.
But the point is, it's liquidity in the market.
Yeah.
The company was priced to zero.
Yeah.
2 months ago. It was trading at like $8 a share. And everyone thought their debt wouldn't be able to be repaid. There's too much debt. And they reported earnings last Tuesday, Wednesday. Stock was up 60% in a day.
Yeah.
So it went from like $8 to 15, then to 24.
Yeah. It's back down now.
It's back down. But my point is there's just too much cash.
So but if you look at the S&P 500 particularly, it's basically a basket of 6 to 8 companies. It's Microsoft, it's Tesla, it's Google, it's
now NVIDIA.
It's like these 5-6 companies that basically are overrepresenting the entire index, because most of if you took those companies out, I forgot what were the 5-6 companies. If you pull them out, the S&P 500 is like flat or down, I think, from what I've read. And so it's definitely over-indexing on the fact that there's something happening with these 7-8 companies that is holding the entire country together from an equity standpoint. Goldman Sachs has come out and said that they believe like the AI boom is actually going to have an impact. Look, I believe in the AI boom. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on it, but like it ain't happening this year. I'm sorry. It's just not happening this year, except for NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the only true beneficiary of AI in a mega way this year. I think all the other companies will see it next year. But for whatever reason, we all know there is a real retail recession. We are seeing it all over. Look, travel is holding up probably a big portion of the economy today. Services are holding up a big part of the economy. Do you feel like in 3 months from now, we're going to be in a better place or worse place? I think we're going to be in a worse place.
In terms of the real economy?
The real economy. Put the stock market aside.
Absolutely worse.
Absolutely worse. Drama?
3 months?
Yeah.
Worse. Yeah, worse.
Worse. The real economy has to underwrite lower earnings, lower growth rates at some point. Like the equity market has to underwrite that. Apple, which is the most valuable basically thing on earth, they have lower sales. They're not growing, right? They had a few % dip in sales. I don't care if it was shit what anyone says. No one's buying those stupid goggles. Okay. They revised the goggles. They thought it was gonna be $1 million. They revised them to 150,000.
So I just looked at 5-year chart.
Yes.
Walmart and Disney. 5 years.
Disney's flat.
And what do you think Walmart is?
Up 10%.
Disney's down 11%.
Okay.
Walmart's up 81%.
Wow.
Over the last 5 years?
5 years. Walmart. The highest revenue generating company in America.
Yeah.
is up 81%. It doesn't.
That's asinine. Well, Walmart makes sense.
No, but my point is like you don't have to be that smart to be a good investor.
No.
Yeah. You just have to be singularly focused. Like focus, I think,
where
is the
do
hard
people
part.
go? Where do people go shop? Walmart.
I know, but like if you had thought 5 years ago, if you compare Disney and Walmart, would you have really thought there'd be 100% discrepancy?
Let's see.
Why is Disney too woke? Is that what it is?
Go woke, go broke.
Move to Florida, guys.
I don't understand why Disney's down that much.
Apple's up 271%. Name another company.
Microsoft.
I mean, they're going to be up big.
Yeah.
5 years, 223%. Give it
What's
traditional
Target?
company, not
Nike.
technical.
Nike. Give me Nike.
40%.
Yeah. Give me Adidas.
Oh, boy.
That's just got to be down. What do we got for Adidas?
Down 26%.
Kanye.
Yep.
Poor guy killed him.
Let's see Target. It's a fun exercise just to see.
Target should be up. What is it?
5 years, up 62%.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So Disney's the only loser.
I don't understand. Disney seems like a steal then.
Yeah, so is the story there really, of all those ones you just did, is Disney the only loser?
Yes. Everything's up double digits, if not triple.
It's Chapek.
Multiple triple judge.
You know what I mean?
So,
you know
yeah,
what happened in the last
Chapek's-
5 years? Chapek.
I think Disney's a buy. This is
Disney's a
my
buy.
This is my Facebook.
Buy
Remember
it.
when I said face?
Yeah.
Speak with your
We all know-
wallet, God damn it.
There's nothing more powerful than Disney's IP.
Disney's IP and the parks.
They gotta
I like
go
it.
to sleep.
Disney's my Zuck.
Too woke.
They gotta go to sleep though. They gotta go to sleep.
Okay, so that makes sense. I mean, can I just ask you guys one question? Because this is an honest question from me. Is like, why would you say that this departure of like the stock market and the real economy is so much bigger than it ever has been in history? Like, what is the new thing? Where did all the money come from? Why is this a new phenomenon?
Stock market has always been a future indicator, not a lagging indicator, right? So the stocks have been crumbling for the last, let's see, what is it, June? 15
January
months.
21.
Okay, 18 months. 18 months, the stock market has been basically crumbling because they were kind of forecasting what we're finally experiencing. So in some companies, I would say they've overcorrected. Even in some of these like early stage technology companies, they've overcorrected. And now we're looking the reason why you see these huge pops after earnings is that they're like, it's not as bad as we thought. We thought it would actually be much worse. And my guess is that if I were to predict the economy, I would say the next 3 months, travel will hold up most of the economy. Retail will be soft. Then Q4 will be soft just in general. But I do believe all the inflation stuff is fading.
Yeah, so the stock market, to your point, or to your question, Drama, is isolated by what the Federal Reserve does. That's all that matters. And I didn't understand that till 2020. There was a point in 2020, because I was in charge of our parents' like net worth and their money, and they were at the wealth manager. I was in a screaming match in March of 2020, and I wanted to go in all cash for my parents. I was like, this doesn't make sense. The economy's shut down. There's no sign of recovery. And their only response is don't fight the Fed. and to me, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Don't fight the Fed. And we were like screaming back and forth. And, you know, my dad ultimately was like, I think we should stay in the stock market. And I said, look, it's your money. But here's my opinion. The economy is shut down.
Dad didn't want to fight the Fed. He knows.
Yeah.
And they were right. My dad was right. The wealth manager was right. And that's when I realized all that matters is the Federal Reserve. That's it.
But hasn't this always been the thing, though? Like, why doesn't it feel more separated than it ever has? Or is that just because we're in the middle of it?
So I think, look, we have a meeting coming up. This week is a pretty epic week. We got CPI, got retail data, got jobless claims. If CPI is moderately lower than expected, market's out of here because it'll tell the Fed to stop raising rates. If the Fed in whatever the July meeting pauses and they even say that, hey, we think things have calmed down, like it's all because stock market is predicting the future. It's not about what's happening right now.
Yeah. I know that's why my only question is, doesn't it feel more than usual, more than in history? That's always been the case that the stock market is a leading indicator, but doesn't it feel more detached than before? Or is that just because we're in the middle of it?
Yeah, it's probably
I think it's just we're at the age where we kind of see it because it was similar in 2009, 2008. And I think I was too young to understand it. And in 2020, I was old enough to have enough experience in business, because if you look at 2008 and 2009 is when the real recession started for America. And that was the start of the bull market and the stock market. That was when zero interest rates started.
Yeah.
And the market liquidity just flooded. And that was a different environment than 2020. But I think people that were a little older that understood it knew in 2020 it was going to be the same thing, which was totally different circumstances. I don't think anyone predicted it. I think people got on the ship a little late, like end of April, and we're like, oh, this isn't going down.
Like historically, because I'm really bad at this, if you look back historically at interest rates, have we been doing more shenanigans with interest rates in the last decade than in the previous 50 years? Is that part of it?
We've never raised interest rates this fast ever. That's definitely.
And had they ever been as low as they were?
For this extended period of time, no.
Probably not.
So
but the
to
speed
me,
at which...
It seems like one of the reasons could be like, it's never been that low for that long, which was a little bit of a false boost. And then it never skyrocketed up that fast, which could have been a little bit of a false, like maybe that's like a little bit of why we're feeling it.
So I think that the uniqueness of this situation is that we have this crumbling economy, but extremely low unemployment rate. We have typically when you have inflationary period, everything should be going up. The stock market should be going up. Everything. We haven't had that. And now we have there's a lot of nuances to this experience because of unemployment, real estate. The fact that basically nobody's selling their home has held real estate prices up because the speed at which interest rates went up made people feel like
I'm not going to sell. Which is also a false explanation.
So there's too many
the fact that real estate prices haven't gone down is because there's no buyers.
But isn't the common thread in all of this just interest rates?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the Fed. That's all that matters.
So to me, I think that the answer, it sounds like, and you guys found it, I'm just putting it all together. It sounds like the answer is interest rates were like at record lows for a record amount of time and then record high, record raise with record speed. And that just caused everything to make a little bit less sense or be a little bit less coupled with the actual economy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling that's always been the case. It's very rarely directly correlated. I just think we're more observant of it today.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Wait, say that again?
No, I'm saying that like
you said, we're just old enough now and have enough experience to actually pay attention. Where this is probably always
reference. If we saw Michael Jordan, we'd be like, oh, he's the best ever. And so when we see LeBron, we're like, oh, no, he's not as good as Michael Jordan. Same thing.
Yeah, if I understood the Federal Reserve in 2020, we would have made a fortune.
So if I were to predict the next 6 months, though, Goldman Sachs is saying there's going to be a 5% more increase the S&P 500 between now and the end of the year. I find that almost impossible to believe because I actually think the real economy is so much worse than what the indicators that are coming out. So if you look at what the government uses lagging indicators to make decisions, right? Like shit that happened 30, 60 days ago. Hedge funds make real-time indicators to make decisions. They have last week's consumer data sales, yesterday's. They're going to trade on Monday morning based on Sunday and Saturday's consumer data. I believe that the consumer is way softer than even the market believes, and that spending is going to fall off such a cliff. It already has.
In what sectors?
Retail, which is
like apparel,
yes,
beauty,
basic retail. I think I believe that it has already fallen off a cliff. I think it will continue to be soft. I actually don't believe that when I saw like Stan Druckenmiller say it's going to be a hard landing. I don't think it's going to be that because I think too many people have jobs still, and I don't see unemployment getting out of hand. Like I don't see any indication where like the biggest companies in the world are going to lay people off. Yep. In droves. So
not other than the 10 to 15%, which they've already done.
Exactly. Like I don't think Walmart's laying 100,000 people off. So I think what
Walmart still has an issue with not enough staff, just so you know what's happening.
What is?
Walmart, just because I know this from conversations, their problem is they don't have enough staff.
Yeah, that's my point. Is that I think,
but he's talking about I think corporate level versus the store level.
No, I would say both. I would say
it's
both. Really.
And both are
if you
a problem.
Want a job in America,
yeah.
If you want a job in America, you can get one. You may not get the one you want though. On the low income side, typically recessions are driven by low income spending falling off a cliff. Low income spending today is completely affected by inflation. It's not because they don't have jobs.
Yep.
It's the fact that food costs more. It's the fact that gas costs more. It's the fact that everything in their life costs more. Except eggs. Eggs have completely fallen off a cliff. All the egg fear is over.
I feel bad for anyone who made a big egg investment, maybe stocked up on thousands of eggs.
Just the egg is cracked.
If you think about gas, I've had to drive a lot the last 48 hours for various things.
Yeah.
It ranges from $4.60 a gallon to $7 a gallon.
Yeah.
That's a massive difference in the same city within 20 miles.
Yeah.
That's our state, our woke state.
That's your woke
city.
That's your woke
city.
Governor Anand.
Yeah, we are the idiots on gas.
Well, how is that possible? $4.60, $7, within 20 miles.
Woke.
How's that woke? I don't know.
Go broke.
But it's
a woke tax. It's a woke tax.
Yeah, you must have. When you were in like Santa Monica, it was 7. Went to the IE, it was 4.
You went to the Valley, it was 460.
Yeah, Simi Valley 460.
Yeah, Simi Valley sleep.
Venice $8. Last but not least, I mean, this is just absolute madness. Donald Trump has been indicted again. So he was the first, president or past president to be indicted. He now is that twice. I don't know, 37 counts or something like that. It all goes back to these top secret documents that he was, they were found at Mar-a-Lago. Apparently some obstruction of justice type stuff. Who knows? I mean, a whole shit show here. So, I mean, we knew this. We've been saying for a long time, we are essentially at a year and a half until the next election. And from here on out, it just ramps up crazier and crazier. And I think like kind of the first kickoff, like if we wanted to say like, what was the moment when like campaign time started? I think it's probably Trump indictments. We could look back and say that was the kickoff. How that all plays out, I don't know, but the war has started.
Let woke on and start.
Go for it.
Yeah, love this.
37 counts. 37 felony counts. in the Southern District of Florida. And the reason they didn't try him in D.C. because they thought Trump's lawyers would try to move it from D.C. to Florida to basically delay action. So they were like, let's just go to Florida.
Yep.
Because that's where we know we can actually get these indictments done. And 31 of the 37 are under the Espionage Act. And if you look at the commentary post this indictment, he was told to return the documents. He refused. He has like plans of attack against Iran. He has all these super national secrets storing in bathrooms, ballrooms. Like anyone in Mar-a-Lago could have just gone to the bathroom and saw like, hey, what's the plan of attack for Iran?
That's why I think he's just stupid. I don't think he was playing.
I mean, he's an idiot. I think we all agree on this one.
I agree. The Occam's razor, he's a moron.
Yeah. He doesn't give a fuck.
But if he is not president in 2024, he will be in jail. His only option
is the presidency.
Is the presidency to not be in jail.
Which is kind of scary.
That sounds
I'm
pretty
really curious.
likely.
This is obviously a strategy. Like this is a play by the Democrats, right? Like they're not going to, I'm not saying more
I actually don't even think it's the Democrats. I think it's the Republicans.
The Republicans have turned on him.
But somebody okayed it.
I think the Republicans pushed this.
Bill Barr, who was his former attorney, went on Fox News. I'm not even talking MSNBC. I'm not even talking CNN, which had him on the network. Bill Barr went on this morning and said, if any of this is true, he's toast.
Yeah.
Like this is just like complete, like
he's either toast
activity.
or president, though. That's the problem. And my only problem is this. The last thing that I want is Donald Trump to be president again. So let me start there. So whoever put it together, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats or both, it is a play. And my fear is every time one of these things happens, his polling numbers go up. Yeah. Every time one of these things happens, he is nonstop on the news 24/7. And we all know, if you go back to 2016, the amount of free media that this guy got from just being talked about that turned into votes. Like we've already ran this experiment. You didn't trash him. Like when the Access Hollywood tapes came out, I remember we all thought like, oh, that's it. He's out of here. No, that arguably helped him get elected. So we've already ran this test and it didn't go the way that most of the people who were talking about him in the media wanted. And we're kind of doing it again. And he now has the fire under him that he is either toast or the fucking president of the United States. And there's no other option.
To lose.
What's different? He has nothing.
He's B-Rabbit. He's B-Rabbit.
He has everything to lose because he could die in jail. But what's different about this time, you don't see the Republican right-wing opinionist coming out in his defense.
He doesn't need them.
You see the audience saying it, though. The audience is like, yeah, but what about Hillary's emails? What about Joe Biden with his secret documents in the Corvette?
So I think this is going to prove to my point, which I predicted, was that the Republicans just destroy each other and Joe's just going to sleepwalk.
But you have to understand,
the
Donald Trump is an anomaly because what the entire rest of the Republican Party says or does not matter. That normally matters if you have to go through that whole circus. He goes direct to consumer, right to his audience, and the media talks about him, good or bad, and all you see is Trump, 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 and everyone rallies because he gets you all rallied up that this is another witch hunt. We already have the Russia hoax. We have the blah, blah, blah. What about Hillary? What about her emails? What about the top secret documents on Joe Biden's Corvette?
By the way, you got 10,000 pictures from Hunter Biden's laptop.
No, yes, you have Hunter Biden's laptop. You have blah, blah, blah. And now you don't need the Republican Party.
But no, here's the real through point through all this is that there's 2 million people among 4 states that decide the election. So the rest is just like,
so if Trump goes and hangs out with those people, takes pictures with those 2 million people.
His polling goes up. His polling went way up last time he got indicted.
I think
he is a brilliant storyteller. And the moment you say
he's just done his few Truth Social posts. He even knows it's that serious that he can't come out and do a speech.
Yeah.
That's how serious this is.
Yeah.
This is extremely serious.
But do you realize who broke the news that Trump was indicted again? Trump.
Yeah,
That's
he knows
crazy.
that's just marketing.
He's playing this whole thing. Like, I just worry that when you have a guy who is a spin master,
but here's the thing.
don't give him any attention to spin.
Yeah, I agree.
I understand what you're saying, but it's like, being at the casino table until you get a bad hand, and he was winning every hand. He was just the hot hand, and then you play too much. And I think he's at the point where the casino.
I don't think he
wins.
had a hot hand. He had Access Hollywood. He got impeached. He got he January 6th, people stormed the Capitol. He still.
The hot hand? No, hold on, Jerome. But the hot hand was in the terms of never getting in trouble. So
yes.
Imagine hitting 21 every time. Access Hollywood 21.
But if he hits,
there's no trouble if you're president. There's no trouble.
If he hits blackjack, he shits on everybody.
He's only in trouble if he loses, and I think this makes it more likely that he will win. And I think it's really dumb
my
that we've
prediction,
already
he's gonna be in
ran this
jail.
experiment, and it didn't go the way we wanted, and we're doing it again.
But
he should
the
be in
law's the
jail.
law. So you want people not to pursue the law?
The law is the law. I mean, you know how many people don't go to jail because they broke the law?
I don't think this is a political
You could
agenda.
steal
This is
anything
like
you
a
want.
Republican leading, attorney general.
I don't think
that's
this is
pursuing it.
Look, my opinion. This is just my opinion. I don't think this is the law is the law issue. I think this is a chess move. I think that what Hillary Clinton did was probably pretty illegal. I think that.
But it was proven innocent by a grand jury. So how could you say it's illegal?
Understand. I don't think that this is the law is the law. Look, we can have a different opinion here. I don't think this is just the law is the law. I think these are all decisions that are made. Hillary's off. This person's off. This person's good. Hunter Biden's laptop is misinformation. Trump, yep, we should pursue those charges because something. I think that there's an outcome that they are looking for. And I think that that strategy, I worry, is going to backfire.
Yeah, because here's the thing.
No, because my opinion has been that he's broken so many laws, and I've said this on this podcast for the last 3 years since he left office, is that they're not going to stop because there's so many laws that have been broken. And I don't believe that Jack Smith is pursuing this because he doesn't want him to be president. It's because the laws were broken and he keeps going.
Yeah, but they choose.
That's
Hunter
way too
Biden
risky.
should be in jail. Hunter Biden should be in jail. 100%. That guy has broken so many fucking laws.
And what they should do, in my opinion, is if you want to go by the laws of the law, is they should wait, give him no gas on the fire until after the election, and then do all this. When he has, at a minimum, 4 whole years to try to survive all of this, and then you're going to do it perfectly in campaign time. I just think,
don't give him the fire. It's so stupid.
It's so stupid,
bad
man.
strategy. Bad strategy.
No, I don't know. I don't think Hunter Biden and Donald Trump are apples to apples. Sorry.
Because they lead to one guy.
But if the law is the law, then the law is the law. And I don't think this is the law is the law issue. I think it's all a move. And I think if Hunter Biden doesn't get prosecuted, I think that's a move. I think if Hillary doesn't, that's a move. If Joe Biden, blah, 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 China relationships, I don't fucking know.
We're talking about
it's
national
all a move.
secrets versus Hunter Biden getting some money from some Ukrainians. Yeah. This guy, Donald Trump had the plan of attack against Iran.
By the way, you said Ukrainians. Who do we just hand money to every month?
Bipartisan.
I know, but who ultimately could veto that?
I'm just curious. We don't know. I'm just curious. I'm honestly curious. What were the top secret documents that Joe Biden had?
You can arrest every one of these motherfuckers. All of them should be arrested.
It's like fouls in basketball, right?
So the
anything could be a foul.
So the only reason why, if you want to talk about the deep state, which is what you guys are obsessed with, the only reason why this is different is that the Republicans are speaking out against Donald Trump. Fox News is
because they lost control of the party. It has nothing to do with the law.
They didn't have control of the party the whole time.
Exactly.
Do you remember?
Now they're fuck.
In 2016, every Republican was saying how disgusting Donald Trump was, and Ted Cruz, and all of them, and they all just had to do an about face. They've learned this lesson before. They all went against him before.
So you're saying they're making the same mistake?
Correct.
They might be.
I'm saying they are going right into the playbook that got him elected in 2016, except for now it's even bigger. Now
you shouldn't,
I think
you shouldn't give him attention. You should not give this idiot attention at all.
I think he's going to win the nomination, lose, and go to jail.
I like that prediction. And you know what? I hope I
don't even think it matters who the Democrats run. I actually don't even. It could be Gavin Newsom, it could be Joe Biden, it could be anyone. They're going to beat him.
I hope that he isn't the next president. That is what I'll say. But
he will win the Republican nomination. I agree with that.
49% of this country wanted to be president.
And then guess what happens? All the Republicans fall in line, and now they all start supporting him. That's what it's going to look like.
Yeah, but you're not going to get the moderates. And
so all that I'm saying is whoever's plan this is already step one. I don't like the way it's playing out. He's going to get the nomination. All the Republicans are going to have to fall in line.
So hold on. You guys actually don't think anything he did was wrong?
Of course he did.
That's not what we're saying on it.
All of them. You're not even paying attention to what we're saying. All of these guys are doing shit wrong.
He guys has like national secrets stored in a
bag. We're not arguing that.
That he's using curry favor for billionaires. Like,
yes.
You know what he's doing at Mar-a-Lago? He's like, some billionaire, you want to invest in my fund? Hey, look at what Iran is going. What's going on? By the way,
that's what all of the presidents previous have done. George Bush did that. Joe Biden's doing that. Fucking Bill Clinton did that. They all did it 100%. That's what presidents do.
How can you say that when we don't have actual?
Because you just fell in line and you shut the fuck up. Donald Trump won't. Do you think George Bush did not break any fucking laws?
I mean, when
I think he broke laws
if you watch
while
Vice
he was
again,
president.
If you watch that movie Vice again, it is mind-boggling.
I think he broke so many laws while he was president that when he gave up, that's why he went to painting. Because he was like, I've just done too much harm to the world.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take it one step further, and I think every president broke the law. Every 100%.
Like if Donald Trump would go to painting, he wouldn't go to jail. This never would have happened.
But he was like, fuck it, I want to be president. You want to bring it. Because
you realize how dumb he is?
He'd rather die.
They asked him for the documents. Had he just given back the documents, there'd be no case.
But maybe he thought.
That's all it was. That's how simple it was.
But I just want to be clear.
All they said was like, give me the documents.
Clear. We're not saying what he did wasn't illegal. We're not saying he's not an idiot. We're not saying we want him to be president.
We're simply saying
this is fucking dangerous. This game that they're playing because it's working into his hit. The polls are going up. It's working.
So call me idealistic, but I think even if you want to talk about all previous politicians and how they've conducted themselves post office, it can't be this blatant.
Post office is different.
Post office, everyone shuts up. During office.
This is post office.
I understand. The point.
So my point is, you're basically, if you allow this to not be prosecuted, you're tearing down the entire federal government and every institution, saying they're all useless.
We already tore that down years ago.
We've turned that down kind of colloquially, but there has to be a semblance of organization, structure, and law.
Okay, then what do you say about Hunter Biden then? Should he go to jail?
I don't know enough about it.
You like the pics. You like him naked with the hookers.
I don't think being naked with hookers requires you to be in jail.
How about
crack? Crack doesn't require you to be in jail.
It doesn't? It's legal?
If you're not caught by a cop, no.
I mean, you're not going to jail. Everyone saw it though.
I feel like you could just give him a blood test. I'm not even saying at all whether
we can
he should go to jail. I wish he would go to. I think what he did was very illegal. I think he should go to jail. I think there's probably some other people that I wish would go to jail too. But my only point, all that I'm saying is, not right now. Not
everything has to be a chess move. Up
to
I think
election.
We need to preserve some sort of.
No, it's a chess move though. It is, in their eyes, it is a chess move.
Yeah, this isn't.
I don't think it's a chess move.
100%. Everything is fucking.
They wouldn't allow it to not be a chess move on it. They would be like, "What are you doing? Let's talk about this. Are we going to do it right now? Are we going to do it in 2025?"
You believe everyone's so idealistic.
He was dead 7 ways to Sunday under the Mueller report, and they said we can't. The only reason we're not indicting him because we've never indicted a sitting president. So they waited. He's no longer a sitting president.
You waited 3 years.
Now they got him.
You waited to right into the lead up to prime
The election.
time.
That's when they found the documents.
No, come on.
You got to wait till
They had to-
2025, bro. Try again.
No. Biden would have won. Without all this nonsense, Biden would have won.
Biden's going to win again because of this.
But why give him any fire? It's so
think
stupid.
this discredits him.
No, it doesn't.
It
100%.
doesn't. It doesn't.
It
Maybe
does.
are you guys voting for him now because he had
I'm not
illegal
voting for
documents?
Sleepy Joe, and I ain't voting for fucking Donald.
I don't know if I'm
You guys
voting.
like it?
abstaining
Illegal
my vote.
documents. You're
Listen,
like, yeah, that's my guy.
I'd rather vote for Hunter Biden.
Anand, this is all that I hope doesn't happen is this shit, and this is what I'm scared of. It's like playing with a gun. It could go off. I am worried that there will be a day where once again we say Donald Trump, the 47th president of the United States, and fucking we look back and we say, God damn it. He flipped all that momentum and wrote it right back into the White House. That is a real
I don't think
risk.
this is happening this time. I don't think so.
I hope it doesn't, but it's a valid concern.
Here's the thing is Democrats are cocky, Republicans are not. Don't be cocky. Fucking put the work in and convince people otherwise. Every time Hillary lost, all these people lost, they were too cocky. They didn't understand America and how they actually feel. And at the end of the day, politics is about emotion, nothing else. It's like the stock market. It's emotion. You ride the momentum.
No, stock market's about liquidity.
Okay,
not about
but
emotion.
it's a very much a momentum play. And so politics is also a momentum play. Don't make everyone in America feel like, oh, if you vote for Trump, you're fucking idiots.
Who's coming to Trump's defense? Have you seen
49% of this fucking country?
I don't see any
because they're
A lot
not
of
talking.
voters. We didn't
Republican-
see it in 2016 either.
Yeah, don't be dumb. That's the thing. That
We've learned this lesson before, and we're doing it again. We're saying the same things again.
We're opening people's eyes.
No,
saying
I think
that
we
like
have more
you have to be
information
like
than we did
aware.
in 2016. That was 8 years ago.
I'm worried that information to you is like, oh yeah, he's a criminal. Of course, he's fucked. I think to his voter, that information, which is much more potent than it was in 2016, is this whole thing is corrupt. They didn't lock up these other people. They're trying to weaponize the DOJ. We got to save our boy.
I think his voting base is already splintered, so it doesn't even matter.
And I think his voting base thinks that when you talk about like saving democracy, kind of like they think that voting for him saves democracy. He's just a brilliant spin artist. And I think we should starve him out and no attention until 2025 and then do all your shit, do all your charges and everything.
Yeah, you should go after him after the election.
Too risky. Win. Too much risk. The reward is the same if you wait another year and a half.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, we'll see. Let's do some shout outs.
All right, here we go. First shout out from Sibby Daniel to Sujil Joseph. Big shout out to longtime Kathy. Got me hooked. I've listened to every episode for the last 4 years. Turns 40 this weekend. Wanted to give a big shout out.
Happy birthday.
40th birthday.
Happy birthday.
You know, think about 40. You're basically 25.
Yeah. In the new age.
And then
you're just getting started.
Next big shout out from Maricela Rodriguez to boyfriend Brandon. We don't know your last name, Brandon, but your first name is boyfriend. A big shout out to Brandon Rocha for putting me on to the pod, giving me something good to listen on my way to work. So big shout out to you, Brandon. Good for you.
Shout out to Brandon.
Next is from @Roman1984 to his kids.
Nice.
His happy second birthday to my little munchkin, Junior. 2 years old. I don't know if your 2-year-old
might be the
listens
youngest
to the pod.
shout out we've ever had.
Youngest listener we have.
Yeah.
Then we got from Julie Alvarado to husband, Joseph. Happy birthday to my husband and best friend, Joseph Valdez, turning 24 on June 28th. I love you. Happy birthday, Joe.
Happy birthday, husband.
I know you guys have been listening to the podcast for a while, so happy birthday, guys. From, I think it says Shane Visram. To Sister Sabrina. Shout out to my sister Sabrina. Day One Kathy, definition of an entrepreneur. Shout out, Sabrina. Let's
Shout out
hear
to
what your
Sabrina.
business is. Then we got from Andrew Daniel to Andrew Rogers. Shout out to Andrew Rogers, who probably doesn't know. He put me on the group chat podcast 7 years ago before we even started. Oh shit!
Damn.
This guy's so OG.
This guy's a visionary.
He said, yo, pretty soon there's going to be a podcast called Group Chat and you're going to love it. Shout out to the Andrews.
We're almost 6 years old, but I know what you mean.
We get the point.
So you get the point. Shout out.
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, there you have
And
it.
shout out to, we got 2 shout outs in the studio to Gopi from Australia, Perth, all the way here.
Nice.
And Jack from Cotty's from London. We got some foreigners up in here today.
Yeah, love it. Love it. I bet they're loving the US shit show, leading up to, I just feel like people from other countries, when they see our like elections and stuff, they're just like, it's like the best episode of the Kardashians ever,
I don't know. UK's got some fucked up shit happening.
They do, but they just have like their version of what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's like the off-brand version,
Yeah.
They had their own
Off-white.
Trump. Yeah. I love it. Okay. That's it.
Yep.
Great. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a great week. I hope you liked this episode. We did take your feedback and we mixed in the banter with some news to get you started. Have a great week. Thanks for listening.